Okay, when you're ready, give me a countdown and I will start the timer.
Okay, hello, I'm SMMidi. I don't normally speedrun Sonic. However, today we make an exception for golf. So this is Golf Forever. This is Sonic 1 Forever. It's a fan-made sort of remake of Sonic 1 in widescreen, to put it simply. And we're going to be playing through all 4 characters today. Starting off with Knuckles because that's the hardest one. I will get straight into it. We'll give a countdown. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So basically, how this works is right off the bat as well. Gonna need to be focusing up because Knuckles, as you can see already, is a pretty difficult character to control. There we go. So essentially, how this works is just like a lot of other golf games. Essentially, what we're doing is we are adjusting our power, which goes automatically, and it also depends on the character how quickly that cursor goes. And also our power we can then adjust as well. So you might not notice it straight away because it's the first character, but Knuckles actually starts off on the top of the gauge, whereas everyone else starts on the bottom. So I do need to be careful that I don't accidentally double tap and then end up getting a big swing when I only need a short one. That's kind of the gimmick of Knuckles here, other than the really high power. So what we can do is we did just fall off there. It just means we go back to where we were. So we go through that loop there and then we can get to this hole. So pretty much every hole is kind of stylized like the checkpoints in regular Sonic. So we're just going to go for a short one here. And even though we're right up to the hole there, it kind of has a little bit of give to clip into the hole. So you don't need to get it exactly what you'd expect. Sometimes it can sort of stop a little bit generously. Hitting the rock there, that's fine. So essentially, the score as well is completely irrelevant to anything else happening other than the number of strokes we're having, or we're taking for each hole here. So I'm actually looking pretty much after each shot, just to see exactly where each hole is, just to sort of make sure we're going the right way for the marathon. So yeah, essentially we're going to come down here. I am just going to make sure, because if we're on that bridge and then check where it is, it's then going to take a little while to reappear. Just hitting that platform there as well, that's fine. So you do get a slightly bigger power if you... almost. If you do not go in the air with your shot, you actually get a bit more power. Kind of like if you're sort of putting rather than driving or anything like that. So here, holes 5 and hole 7, these are the hardest ones to me. What we're trying to do is get onto the loop this time. And that can be pretty difficult. So here, I'm just going to try... almost getting it there. The issue now is that we can't actually clip through the loop, so I'm going to need to back up a little bit just to give myself a chance to get up there. And we'll do a bit of higher power, not quite happening. So again, with every character having slightly different power, you do need to be watching out for that and making sure that you're doing the right amount for each one to get up there. Is that a chip in? Oh, went over the hole, unfortunate. We should still be able to get it here though. There we go. We're still in. So that's fine. There's another one on hole 7 that's kind of similar to that. I would say hole 7 is harder because hole 5 there's a lot of flat surface you can stand there for. Hole 7 is not really like that. And of course we're going to see it 4 times because we're playing every character here. But all of them are slightly different. So again, going to watch out for this hole. Because we're now on the bottom path, I am going to need to go really high up just to sort of get out of there. Because we can't go through those platforms there. So we're kind of in the bunker now. But we should be able to get up. Nice chip in. Finishing hole 6. And again, hole 7 is another one where we're going to need to go through, go on top of a loop. So I'm going to try and watch out for that. So let's see where we are. I'm going to need to get to the top path again just to get up there. So again, Knuckles, pretty high power. So we can just go for a full swing there, make sure we get up. And I'm going to do a slightly weaker one this time. There we go. So we're in the loop. And then, if you go through that loop there as well, you should hit this rock, and then you should always be in a very similar place to each time you do it. That was almost a chip in, I cannot believe that. Almost happened. So, these can be a little bit difficult to get out of. I am going to try and get out of it doing that, though. And what you can actually do here, it's not fully consistent for me, but if I do a bounce on the wall, yeah, unfortunately we didn't rebound. You can either get a rebound there, or you can actually end up just hitting the wall and not going anywhere. But if you get a rebound, then there is a chance that you can bounce onto the loop, which kind of helps a lot there. We're going to try and just get into this dip, and then we can try and take a shot onto this loop. There we go. We should be on now. So some of these platforms will fall as well. That one we just go straight through. And we're going to make sure we do a low power shot, get through there. Excellent. So 2 more holes left. A lot of these are just high power just to end on. So we're going to do a 45-degree angle straight up there. And we might see, yeah, so this is another Knuckles exclusive. So because it's Knuckles playing, the golf ball actually breaks through those platforms. No other character has this in golf. Which actually kind of doesn't help there. Nice chip in though. It kind of doesn't help having that, to be honest. Because you then have to sort of recover it again, similar to how I've done for the rest of this. And we're just going to do low power, so this is where the boss would normally be. And that will be our final hole. So that is Knuckles already completed. We do have Amy coming up next, which is another fairly high power. So I'm going to try and make sure we stay in as much control as we possibly can. So Amy actually has higher power than Knuckles. And the reason for that is because she's using her hammer. So that kind of makes sense, I guess. So we're going to try and get a hole in one here. Oh, almost. Barely not getting one there. I tried to play a little bit safer with Knuckles just to make sure we got off to a good start. Oh, didn't. Unfortunately, didn't clip in, so we're pretty much back to the start. That's fine. Hole 1 is clearly the hardest. There we go. So another thing that can happen is if you're barely too short, you will just slide down that ramp, and that's pretty slow. So that's another thing I was kind of watching out for there. So we'll just go for a really high power shot at the beginning here. And it is on the lower path, this hole 2, so I'm going to watch out for that. These platforms will fall, so I can just fall straight in. That is a chip in. That's fantastic. I wasn't expecting to get that, to be honest. So I am watching out here as well, because there is a chance that I'm going to end up hitting one of the platforms from the bottom as I come up from the bottom there. So yeah, fortunately not getting that. And again, because we're now on this rock, it's going to be a little deceiving. I'm going to try and get up above it. There we go. So we could end up just hitting the rock and then going nowhere. Oh, too much power there. So Amy actually has 6 points of power. And the other characters we're going to see, Sonic and Tails, are a lot more controlled than Knuckles and Amy. So you can clearly see why we're starting with these two. So moving on to hole 4. There's not too much distance for this one. And actually the camera kind of getting stuck here. That's fine. Managing to recover it. So we can do fairly high power, get over to there. Unfortunately, the camera, yeah, so the camera is in an awkward position now, so I'm just going to do a low power one just to make sure it goes back to normal, because it kind of treated us as out of bounds there, which I don't think was the case. But that's fine. That just happens occasionally. Let's try that again. Okay. Okay, that is stuck. Let me try going back to checkpoint. Because that is really strange. Good thing is, yeah, there is a checkpoint mode in this game. So we can just go back to where we were. And I'm hoping that will fix it. But yeah. Yeah, sometimes the camera angle can get a little janky. But it happens pretty rarely. So that's fine. So let's just stay as steady as we can here. Gonna go for a high power shot again. Just clear that. Otherwise, we're going to end up hitting that platform, as I was saying. There we go. So now it's gone back to normal. That's fine. So yeah, fantastic feature to have in here, having a restart from checkpoint. It's great for practice, to be honest, if you're trying to work out a specific shot. Because as I mentioned before, every time you finish a hole, regardless of how fast or slow it was, or how many strokes you took, you're always going to be in the same position for the next hole. So there are a lot of setups that you can just go for that are pretty consistent. I will not pretend that was consistent though, because we were in the bunker. That was just a good shot. So yeah, the bunker can be pretty difficult there, because again, if you collide with those platforms, you will just get stuck. And if you do any sort of low power in the green or yellow on the gauge, you're just not going anywhere. So you do have to be a little bit careful there to make sure you don't just get stuck for a really long time. And this does feel a little bit different with playing for least number of strokes compared to going for speed, because a lot of the time I'm trying to do the cursor menuing as quick as I can, but if you're playing for strokes, then you might not do that. Just going to slide out of that loop there as well. That's fine. So we're just going to do a bit low power now just to steady ourselves again. There we go. So the bunker's fine here because the platform we can just clip through. Nice chip in again. And then hole 7 I am watching out for. We're going to go for a really high power here. Not completely full power because, of course, Amy is pretty strong. So we do want to make sure we're actually steadying ourselves. We are going to hit this rock, though. And hopefully we can get a decent onto the loop. So, yeah, that was not too bad. We are now here, so we're going to try and do the rebound again. There we go. There's the rebound. So it's not guaranteed to actually work. It is going to get us close to this dip, though, which is pretty nice. So we can kind of steady ourselves, get up here. And we didn't hit the loop there. That's fine. This is actually the platform that doesn't fall, so I am going to try and get to the other one. I think we just fell off. That's fine. So we're just going to have to do that again. There we go. We are back on now. So just, again, really safe, low power shot. Just make sure we get in. Because if we're falling off again just for a putt shot there, that's pretty frustrating. That's fine. So moving on to hole 8 again. These last few are the high power ones. We are on this platform. I am just going to do a really high power right up to the top. Are we going to end up sliding down? Yes, we are. This time, though, we're pretty much directly under the hole, so we can just go for a full power right there. And this platform's going to fall. We are going to stay on that one, though, so that's fine. So, yeah, again, that's pretty difficult to actually get the right amount of power there to get on. And it's very hard to actually get a directly upwards shot in this, so that's another problem I'm facing here, even with me being pretty much directly next to it. That should be a good on, though. Oh, come on, we went to the other side. I'm very surprised we got to the other side there. That's fine, we'll just steady ourselves, we'll do the same again. There we go, that's looking pretty good. Nice. So we barely went right at all there. So that's fantastic. If you do the shot pretty much straight away, as soon as the cursor appears, which is pretty much when you're unlocked from being able to do the shot, then you can actually get those directly upward shots, but not quite happening there. That's absolutely fine. And actually overshooting the hole because, again, Amy's using a hammer. It kind of feels like cheating, but yeah. But that is Amy's, and we're moving on to Tails now. Tails has a lot more control than any of the other characters we're going to see. And then Sonic has a bit more power than Tails. So the issue with Tails having a bit more control is it is sacrificed in the power. And it does mean that we're actually going to take a bit longer in terms of strokes for some of these upcoming holes. So we're going to do a pretty high power shot here. Just make sure we get up to here. So that was with 2.5 power. And he managed to not go that far considering it was a putt. And there we go. So this is the main one that comes to mind when I'm thinking about Tails and how difficult it is to get pretty far, because a lot of the time you will just hit this rock. If you do full power, 45 degrees, you will just hit that there. It's very difficult to actually get much more distance than that. And even then, you're not going to get a lot more than that. So we're going to get down to the hole. Not going to clip in, but there is a wall there we can just hit just to steady ourselves again. Nice. So the good thing with Tails, though, is he's a little bit more consistent. So we are able to just come through and do these holes fairly consistently rather than relying on the high power and the high risk as a result of that. Going through that loop there and finishing up. You can get a hole in one there, but it is pretty difficult. It does depend kind of how you go through that slope there. So again, seeing hole 4. Hole 4 is down the bottom. Do want to make sure the camera doesn't do any jank to us this time. Hopefully. So again, very difficult to get enough distance because this is quite a far away hole. Any of the ones, we are going to see a couple that are fairly short in distance compared to ones like this. But even then, we're going to be doing pretty high power just to get over there with Tails. So the way the ramps work here, so we did slide on that one first. So we ended up just sticking to that one there. Otherwise, you just end up in a constant sort of sliding and rolling down slopes and things here. Which is pretty good design, honestly, to stop that from happening. Nice chip in. Very good. I was just looking to get onto there. So, really, if I didn't chip in there, it actually would have probably gone over. It's really hard to sort of steady yourself onto the platform like that. So, pretty fortunate to actually get a chip in there. We got it when we needed to. So, that's good. So, moving on again. Full power just to get over here. Cover as much distance as we can. So, that is going to fall down, unfortunately. That's okay. Alright, and in the bunker again. And as I was mentioning earlier, any of these low power shots is not going to be enough to get us out of the bunker. So we are going to go for a bit more than what you'd expect, considering the hole is only there. And there we go. And now we can just do a little tab. There we go. So again, hole 7, we are going to go for the full power here. Try to get as much distance covered as we can. I don't expect to get all the way over there, but it would be nice to get into a good position for this. And again, fairly high power because I know we've got to cover a lot of distance to get over there with Tails. Oh, that's actually pretty good. So almost landing on the ramp, on the loop there. Not quite getting onto there. I thought we might end up clipping on. There's a tiny bit that you can clip onto there with. Didn't quite happen though. So that is unfortunately not going to work. That platform's not going to stay up there. That's fine. We'll just get back into the dip. And even though that didn't look like a lot of extra distance, it does help a little bit just to steady ourselves. And again, that platform respawning. So we're just going to get back to where we were. And try again. Yeah, almost landing on the loop straight away there. That would have been very fortunate. There we go. And that should even be, yeah, nice. Straight into that hole there. So, hole 8 and hole 9, considering it took us full power to get any distance with Knuckles or Amy, this is going to take a really long time to get anywhere with Tails. Tails being the lowest power here. The good thing is the control stat's pretty good, so he is, as I say, very consistent. So we'll just do really high power, just get up there. That's fine. You know what? We're going to go left this time just to make sure we are still getting there. And we are going to hit that platform. That's fine. Good thing is Tails is not going to bust through that that wall at the bottom. So that's fine. Getting a rebound when we don't want it. That's unfortunate. There we go. So now we're a little bit closer, or a little bit further left. So we can do the same shot again. Alright, I'm going to need to get out of here as well a little bit because now we're stuck on that wall. That's fine. So we're just going to go up there. There we go. So again, falling off the map, you will just restart from where you were. There we go. Okay, so just one more platform, and we're up. Ah! This one's really frustrating. Come on. Yeah, this is a really, really fun addition. This is kind of like a side mode in Sonic 1 Forever. It's really, really fun. I kind of just started speedrunning it. There is actually a plugin that you can add, which adds an in-game timer to it, which is fantastic. But honestly, just playing for least number of strokes as well is a really, really fun way of playing this. Again, feels very different because you can take as much time as you want setting up each shot. That's kind of how that works there. But yeah, with the speed, a lot of the time you want to prioritize your fast cursor movement. A lot of the time when I've run other golf games as well that are a little bit different to this. Stuff like Clubhouse Games for the Switch. With the golf there, it does make a difference a lot in how quick your cursor movement is, because the run is just so short. Similar to here, they're only a few minutes long. Here, yeah, there we go. Finished with Tails, and we have just Sonic to finish up with. And then that will be the end of the run once we finish hole 9. So we'll start off with Sonic. There we go. Sonic is pretty much the all-rounder character, makes sense. But it is pretty good for this run, actually. So we are just going to get a safe shot up to here. There we go. And then do another one. Nice. So getting pretty consistent 2s and 3s on the first hole is not too bad. And again, just a bit more power than Tails, so we will be able to get a bit more distance covered on some of these on the first shot. And that's kind of why, although Tails is consistent, the fact that you can't have a consistent big shot to get quite far on each hole with Tails or Sonic as well, to be honest, some of the time, does kind of make them harder in a way when you're speedrunning it here. Nice, straight through to that loop. Not quite getting a hole in one, but that is a fantastic setup. Nice. Really, really good there. So, again, because you start in the same position on every hole, although it's really, really precise to get some good setups or even hole-in-ones with Knuckles and Amy, it can still be nice because obviously you're always in the same position starting off each hole. So it is very possible to do better with them, actually. And this game does track your PBs as well, which is nice. With the plug-in, anyway. Nice. Barely making it so we wouldn't slide back down there. That's really good. And barely clipping into the hole as well. Nice. All completely intended. So, hole 5, we're coming up to our final set of holes with these loops to deal with. Pretty nice on there. Actually, bonking onto that little obstacle there, making sure that we sort of stopped all of our momentum there. Unfortunately, hitting that loop, we can just sort of back up here, give ourselves a good chance to get on there, though. Okay, we're pretty much in the same position. That's fine. So I tried to do a bit of fast cursor movement there. I did just press A a little bit too early, so it didn't quite... the input didn't quite go through, but that's fine. And the thing is, really, you can't mash as well to get the fast cursor movement, because if you mash, then you're also going to mash through the button to set your power. And if you're playing with anyone except Knuckles, you're always going to get that low power, which is just going to go nowhere. So you don't want to be doing that. And doing a fairly low angle there, we should be able to get a nice setup here. So we are on that bunker that is right next to the hole. And getting onto this platform as well. Nice. Alright, 3 more holes to go. Final difficult one, I would say. Okay, good start, good start. So, again, this bridge, I'm not going to check where we are compared to the hole, otherwise it is going to take us a bit more time with the menuing. There we go, get to the other side there, and the ramp should be the other side here. So we're not quite making it... Wow, we were really close, actually. We're not quite making it on. I am going to try and just do it from here because we are kind of in the loop from here. Now, that is actually going to just send us straight up. So, regardless of the power there, we're not really going to get very far. So that's fine. We'll just steady ourselves, get into the position. Nice. So that's a good on. And we should be in there. There we go. And 2 more holes remaining, and then that is going to be time. So time will happen when the in-game timer stops after hole 9. So that will be about 3 seconds after. And the good thing with this bridge is there's no spikes. That would be pretty mean if there were spikes that could ruin you there. Okay, that's actually pretty good because we are very close to the hole there. So we're just going to get to here. Again, steady ourselves in this platform. Hopefully we can get a straight up shot like we just did. Not quite happening, so I'm just going to play safe with the power. Otherwise, we're going to go too far right like we did with Tails. Really, really nice to do that there. And hole 9 is just going to be full power all the way to the end. Most likely not going to get a hole in one because of Sonic's power. But we are still going to get onto the solid ground here. And again, time is coming up when the in-game timer stops. So it should just be 1 more stroke, hopefully. And that is time. So, that is Sonic 1 Golf. It's a pretty nice little run here. So, yeah, really, really glad to come underestimate there as well. So, essentially, if you want to play this game, then check out Team Forever. They've done Sonic 2 as well, which has a bunch of cool stuff in there. But Golf... I love Sonic 1 Golf. It's fantastic. It's a really nice little mode. And again, the PBs are all tracked on the front here as well if you get that plug-in. There is a leaderboard for each individual character as well, so yeah, definitely go check that out. If you want to see more from me, I don't often do much Sonic, but yeah, check me out on Twitch, SMMidi, we do runs there, and enjoy the rest of the marathon.
Wonderful, thank you very much for taking part. Final time on my side here was 23:42.
Excellent.
So that's all good. I don't think we had any donations during that run. Let me just double check just in case. No, we haven't had any new donations during that run. So our donations total is currently on £71.70. So of course, if anyone does want to donate, then please do so by going to the link. I'll post it now in the chat for everybody to have a look at if they want to go and donate. So there's the link. Don't forget we're doing this as a charity event for Everyone Can, so donations to that will go to Everyone Can, subject to the terms and conditions that are listed on the page, and every little does help. A running total of £71.70 is absolutely amazing, but let's try and get some more donations in as well during the event. We're here obviously live at the Explore Science Discovery Centre in Wrexham, so if you live locally and want to come and have a look at watches live, we do have a little seating area here as well if anybody wants to come and have a look and have a watch live at the Explore Centre. So our next run after this one is going to be another on-site run. Actually, it's going to be Viper. He's been at InstaSpeedathon numerous times in the past, so Viper is very much well seasoned into the InstaSpeedathon spirit of things. So that's going to be the Gran Turismo Concept Course License Any Percent run. We will be going over to that in just a moment for setup. We're going to set that up very, very shortly and make sure everything is working. But before we go on to that, Speedy, do you have any last things you'd like to say before we end your run and go on to the next one?
No, that's all from me. Just get donating if you can, and enjoy the rest of the marathon.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for taking part, and we'll see you again soon.
Thank you. Bye.